Also, what about the people who work for tech companies who experienced layoffs from tech companies? Now, this is unrelated to Silicon Valley Bank, but still in the world of tech, we've seen a lot of different things shift, right? And those people, they may have been over-reliant. Maybe they only had that one source of income, their job, but they just experienced a layoff. And they're like, man, what do I do? And now they're back out on the market looking for another gig. And there's some people who have been able to rebound right away, but then there's other people who have been struggling to find another position. And what I submit to them is that, hey, you have the experience, you have the know-how, but maybe what you're doing wrong is is in terms of strategy, how you are actually applying to new positions and how you are selling yourself to other employers, because I see a lot of people struggling to get hired now.
I like that you brought this up, because I was on LinkedIn just the other day and I see a lot of people talking about, hey, I was recently, they say they're a victim of the recent layoffs at whether it's Meta or some other large Fortune 100 company, right? And it's easy to be like, to think that, oh, wow, everyone's losing jobs. There's no jobs in the market in the field of tech. When in actuality, that's just the big Fortune 100s. Like, we need to diversify where we're looking for work. A lot of these people who are saying, I can't find a job, if they are trying to get back into the workforce, they're just looking at the biggest names, your Facebooks, your Amazon, your Netflix. But what about all the small, medium-sized businesses?
Yeah.
Right? There's so much more. If you open up all the applications or job postings out there, there's significantly more of job available in the small and medium-sized businesses. So that's one way to just open up and diversify where you're searching for jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing too, when you're searching, and I'm glad that you brought up the smaller markets versus like the enterprise and mid markets, because if you're someone out there who just got laid off and you're looking for another position, whether you're looking at small, mid-market, enterprise, whatever, understand that your approach to these different companies may be different depending on the market that they're in, right? So if you are someone who's dealing with the mid-market enterprise level, chances are they have that, what was it called? Is it ATS? The
automatic tracking system,
yeah,
I think is
right.
Yeah.
Like when they're looking at resumes. So sometimes the verbiage that you're using on your resume is not being picked up by that tracking system, because it's not an actual human that's reading it. It's the tracking system, and it's searching for these keywords. And so now you have to tailor your resume to the job posting. Make sure that your resume has those keywords so that you can actually get looked at by an actual human. But then your approach might be different with a smaller business who actually doesn't use that. Is that correct?
Yeah. So before I touch on the small SMB side of things, with the enterprise companies, because they have the automatic tracking, another thing you could do when you target that segmentation is actually find all the HR leaders in that enterprise company. Because besides the automatic tracking, it would help you if whoever's a recruiter sees like, oh, okay, we're actually have multiple mutual connections. Because when you're such a big organization, you're going to have a lot of people in it. So for example, if I worked at Google and Sam, you applied for a position, and then I go on your LinkedIn page and I notice that you're connected with a lot of other Google employees, as a recruiter, that tells me that you might be a better personality fit, culture fit for us. Before the resume ATS system says that I should pull up your resume, just seeing that connection helps out a lot as a recruiter for enterprise.
I agree with that. And the other thing I will throw to that before I toss it back to you is those connections, it also helps if they endorse you. Yes.
And this is the endorsement. This is all throughout. So it's not just for enterprise businesses that you're trying to get into. It's all throughout. The more endorsements you have, that is your word of mouth. Someone put their name, their position, their reputation on the line to say that so-and-so or you, Sam, are skilled in XYZ. That's what the endorsement is. Now, back to your question about what's an effective way to apply for SMB? Is that what your question was? Yeah. So with that, SMB tends to be this would be like your startup companies or your startup companies that are getting ready to expand, meaning that they start off in maybe 1 to 10 employees. Now they want to go to 50 to 100 employees. And with that, it's actually the automatic tracking system may not necessarily be there because they don't have enough resumes to require automation. And so there's more of a real human interaction that's going through all these documentations. In those instances, because they're startup or they're small teams, you could actually directly connect with the people who are going to interview you. You could actually directly connect with the person who will be your direct supervisor, your team lead, or your actual teammates in whatever capacity you do. And because of that, because of the nature of small business, you could actually start those conversations before you even apply.
That's awesome. And I agree with you, because I think I've shared this on other podcasts. A lot of my, a lot of the jobs that I have received has not been from me like just directly applying. I actually may have applied after being hired as a formality, but it was first off of the connections I had. And so in this situation, I think if you're someone who's looking for a gig, tapping into that smaller business market is really a gem, because you actually get to connect and show your personality early on, which is leverage for you. I believe that is.
I 100% agree. 100% agree with that. Did I cut you off?
No, you're good.
And the thing is, a lot of these small SMB sized businesses, these founders are more likely than not former executives or high level or senior level employees in the enterprise companies. So what that means, if we look at it tactically, if I have connections with someone who's founding a new company, I automatically have a mutual connection with someone who's recruiting at that enterprise company we're talking about.
That's true. And here's the other thing too. That person is also bringing that wealth of knowledge and experience that they had from that enterprise. So now, even without you working at an enterprise, you're still getting that same valuable training. And even more so because they more than likely have more time to dedicate towards you, as opposed to at the enterprise level where it's like busy. You know what I mean? So I think that that's also another great thing about that.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say about targeting SMBs when it comes to like trying to find new jobs is that there are significantly way more open positions for SMB than enterprise. Our entire U.S. economy and nation is based on the medium and small sized businesses. That's where most of our money comes from. It's not enterprise. And I think a lot of people, because of these buzzwords, your Meta, your Amazon, your Google, Oracle, we tend to forget that there's so much more available for us.
Sometimes when things go wrong, you can't blame life. Cause when you shot your shot, what was your aim like? What were you targeting? Cause if it ain't right and you still go with it, then that is on you.